Welcome to Feminine Mysteries. My name is Catalina Rivera Dois, and in today's video, we'll be exploring perimenopause, the Queen's unique access to the blood mysteries. And as you settle in, please let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to hear from you. And consider liking and subscribing if the content resonates. This is absolutely free, and it supports both the channel and my work of bringing ancient new womb wisdom back onto the planet once again. So let's dive in. Perimenopause, and specifically the Queen's unique access to the blood mysteries. So there is a beautiful Native American saying that states that when we bleed for the first time, we meet our power as women. During our bleeding years, we practice it. And it's during menopause that we become it. So in the Queen years, we are preparing to become this power. We are preparing to become the embodied wisdom and power of life, death, and rebirth. In the blood mysteries lineage, we tell a very similar story. And the story goes like this. When we bleed for the first time, Grandmother Moon in the sky comes in to guide us in learning and practicing the cyclical wisdom and power of life and the power of creation that begins to flow through us. Through our life, we practice this wisdom and this power, and our inner moon, in other words, our inner wisdom and feminine power, through that practice, begins to grow until eventually the pull of this inner moon is strong enough to begin to take over. This is when we ultimately become this embodied wisdom and power that the Native American saying talks about. We become, through the portal of menopause, a luminary and magnetic force of life that is distinct and independent and sovereign while remaining in an intimate relationship with creation, both in and out of form. So, in essence, during our Queen years, we are experiencing this shift that happens. It's this in-between place where the outer moon, the moon in the sky, is gradually initiating our inner moon to finally begin to take over. Our inner moon, our inner light, our inner wisdom, our inner power begins to draw that power of life inward. So our red river that until now has been, flowing outward into the world, unless it's retained to create and birth a new child or feed a new child through our breast milk in the initial parts of motherhood, right? Besides those times, our red river, our moon blood is flowing out into the world. But now, during perimenopause, during our Queen years, though the first shifts that are felt are internal and more subtle, the more outward sign that we are deeply in this stage is that our red river begins to shift in her flow. She begins to flow farther apart in time, or she may become lighter, at times stronger. And these shifts are guided by a deep wisdom of the body that on the one hand is supporting and catalyzing our metamorphosis, this metamorphosis that we spoke about in previous videos. And on the other hand is awakening our wise blood. I want you to feel the resonance of that word, our wise blood. Allowing that wise blood, that red river, to begin to pool within us, allowing that power of life to begin to be absorbed into our bodies, into our waters, into our breath, into our bones, until our bones are singing with it, until we are the power and wisdom of life in form, until we are birthed as wise women. A birth that is marked by the cross, the full crossing over that menopause mark. right? And in addition, also tied to the blood mysteries, during the queen years, because of the depth and breadth of the transformation that we are undergoing, we are being energetically held deep within mother's womb, deep within mother's cauldron. And because of this, we have a unique access to the mystery and her gifts at this time, especially if we are initiated into the womb or blood mysteries. And in addition to that, during this time, there is an awareness that our cycles, that our bleeds are finite and will reach an end that is now in sight. There is an inner pressure that begins to build to make the most out of these precious remaining cycles. Cycles that, and moon blood specifically, that is in turn being potentized by this time of transformation within a mother's womb. So if you have never honored your cycle, your womb, and your menstruation, if you have never practiced and explored the magic and healing of menstrual rites, this is your last chance to do so in this body, with this blood, and in this life, which makes menstrual rites and spiritual initiations experienced during the queen years very, very powerful. It's also important to recognize that many of the challenges and much of the pain experienced during perimenopause is rooted in our subconsciously distorted relationship to our womb, blood, and womanhood. So much of the pain and suffering that arises through these years are caused by inner and outer patriarchal systems and beliefs that we've absorbed or are exposed to. So addressing them simply makes sense. And working with our womb and our blood is the most effective way I've found of unearthing and alchemizing inner patriarchal systems. And again, I have 25 years of energy work, shamanism, plant medicine work, and more under my belt to compare with and to. Two examples of these patriarchal beliefs that cause pain in this season that are in some degree two sides of the same coin are: one, the idea that as we reach this point of our life, we're beginning to dry up, that as we lose our fertility, we are also losing our worth, which could not be further from the truth. Or for women that have had a good relationship with their cycle and moon blood, there is often a grief of losing your moon time, of losing that power of life, that sense of flow, that sense of connection that menstruation and cycling gives us. And I'm here to tell you that these, as well as all the other, because there's a myriad of beliefs that are painful, that are revealed during perimenopause, are just distortions of the majesty of this stage and the next. And having access to the wisdom that is awakened in the body through direct gnosis, right? Direct experience within your body, within your field, within your soul, through the blood mysteries lineage and the practice of menstrual rites is a game changer. Having this is a game changer in this season. It becomes an endless source of wisdom and medicine and support and healing and beauty that helps us stay anchored in the love and beauty of this chapter and the power of this chapter of our life, even as we embrace the challenges, the transformation, and the intense change that is happening within us. And during our bleeding years, including our queen years, relating to our moon blood as medicine and practicing menstrual rites is the most effective way of activating the wisdom of the blood mysteries within us, which basically means the wisdom of your direct connection to the divine, the wisdom of the that is held in your body, that is part of your feminine design, the wisdom of life that flows naturally through you and connects you to creation. That's what we're activating. That's what you're reconnecting to through the blood mysteries. And it happens organically, naturally, because this is our primordial spirituality, our primordial connection into the divine and creation. So basically, stepping into the blood mysteries during your queen years is a beautiful and powerful initiation that will support you through the transformation of this season and beyond, no matter if you have one cycle left or many. The most common comment I get of women that finally step in is, I wish I'd done it before. And I've had women step into this temple and this lineage and experiencing just one bleed. And that one bleed plus everything else that is that they've received from this lineage is more than enough for them to feel supported and held and ecstatic that they actually took this step and they opened this gate that leads to the next season. Because again, the blood mysteries is not just your bleeding years. For our wise women that may be listening, wise woman has her own unique access into the blood mysteries, her own initiations and gifts. And the blood mysteries holds the wisdom of all of our seasons and the unique access and key for us to access that throughout all our seasons. So there will be another series for my wise women, for you are important and pivotal within the fabric of life and our lineage and temple as well. So in my next video, we'll be exploring queen menstrual rites. I can't wait. It's always so exciting. And as we complete for today, I'd love to hear from you, hear your thoughts, what has resonated. And please remember, if you haven't done so already, to press like, share, and subscribe. Share with a friend if you've enjoyed this content, and consider learning more, coming closer through the offerings that are in the description below. Thank you for being part of this remembrance of our feminine mysteries. I hope that what you have received today, it has been nourishing and illuminating and catalyzing your own womb wisdom. You already hold everything you need within you, dear sister, and it is together that we remember. So many blessings, happy moon times, until we meet again. Bye.